So, Steve, I'm still puzzled here as a new business is that, where do I get, you're talking about getting email permissions, but where do I get those raw emails?
Well, you get them from current customers. You get them from people you meet when you're networking at different networking events. One thing I encourage people to do is whenever somebody hands you a business card, ask them if it's okay for you to add them to your email list.
So that's kind of in the idea of permissions.
Permissions, yes. You need to get permission in one manner or another. That's where your email marketing will be effective for you.
And one of the things I've learned about using a tool like Constant Contact is they actually have, if you use their tool, that little sentence down at the bottom that says, if you want to opt out of this, hit this button. And that gives you a very classy way to have people who might not want to be on the list to be gracefully taken out of your list. And it's important to do because there is, I guess, some kind of law or...
The CAN spam law requires that any commercial email has an unsubscribe button, and that unsubscribe button actually works and takes that person off of the list. You can't send out a Constant Contact email without an unsubscribe button.
I mean, one of the things that surprised me, because I was in charge of marketing for a business and we actually did use Constant Contact, is not only is it a very organized way to present your email and you kind of have a newsletter template.
We have almost 400 templates, yes.
Okay, so I can really pick a template almost like doing a plotted out PowerPoint.
You can. What you do is use the template as a starting point, and then every template is customizable to your business. You can add your logo, change the colors to represent the branding of your business, and then you also add your images and your text.
So Modupe, if she was using your tool, could use some of her art?
Absolutely. She definitely should use her art because it's beautiful art, and that's really what's going to sell and make people interested.
So taking her art, combining it with your tool,
yes,
and then creating a vehicle to reach out to, customers. Still, the challenge being is how do you get that customer list, and that's something everybody's got to figure out how to do.
Well, that's one of the things we're going to talk about on the 31st is how to build your email list. So I encourage everybody to attend that session if they can, but we'll give you lots of hints about how to build your email list and acquire those customers and prospects.
I have one last question before we wrap up, is how often should I send people emails?
That's a very good question and a common question. There's no magic bullet that says you're allowed to send emails once a month or once every 2 weeks. You should test your audience and
how do I test them?
Well, you can send out emails and you can watch the reports. With every email you send out, there's a report in your account that tells you how many people are opening it, how many people are clicking on links. And you can tell by looking at these statistics whether people are getting tired of getting your email.
How can I tell whether somebody's tired?
You can tell because they'll start to unsubscribe. If you notice your unsubscribe rates going up, the number one reason that somebody unsubscribes from an email list is because you over-communicate with them. That's a good indicator right there.
What's the best way to get somebody to open my email?
Actually, the subject line, you should always incorporate a benefit in your subject line of what somebody will get if they open your email.
What's an example of a good subject line?
Well, a good subject line, let's say my business was a travel agency. Instead of sending out a newsletter that said March news in my subject line, maybe I would want to say 3 great spring vacations. And that way the person knows if they open up that email, they're going to see 3 great spring vacations.
So the other thing you can do is try and test out some different kinds of lines that you would use in your subject line.
Absolutely. Always incorporating a benefit, but the beauty of email marketing is you learn with every email you do so that the next email is better.
We're going to just do a little bit of SCORE knowledge. We talked a little bit about SCORE and what SCORE does, but I do want to get in a little bit more detail on that. Just for your information from Steve's perspective, if you do want information, you can get information at illinois.constantcontact.com. Now, if I'm in Wisconsin, do I have wisconsin.constantcontact.com?
No, you have illinois.constantcontact.com for Wisconsin, too.
Okie doke.